All right, let's visit our first chart, which is going to be the pie chart. Now, each of the chart has some particular tags and a small description in this particular chart gallery, which, by the way, each of these are actually a chart. So if we refresh, each of them come out with their animations accordingly, because these are not images, these are actual charts, how they look like. So what you can do here is that, let's say we explore our first chart, shall we? Let's explore the pie chart. Now the pie chart, when you land here, it has an interactive demo page, which basically means that each of these customizable options that you can set up here going to directly modify the code itself. If we click here into the code right here, you see that this is basically the code which will render out this particular chart. Now we can test this because we created a simple demo HTML page where we have a div, and that particular div, we call this div demo, and then we load the whole charting plugin itself with a script tag, and then we have another script tag where we're going to insert our particular JavaScript code, right? So let's copy the particular code, and if we insert it just here like this, then we can see it says that create a new chart, demo pie. Now we can rename this one to match it, so demo pie like this. And if we visit our example page right here, you can see that this particular chart is essentially going to be the same as that one, right? So it's literally how it works. So you can do many different things in this particular demo page, and this demo page is created for you to actually come here and set up the chart visually to your liking with all the excessive customizable options, and then all you have to do is go there, copy the code itself and paste it into your project. Once you do that, all you have to do is replace the actual data. So the chart set data, which this part right here, all you have to do in this case is that remove, I mean not remove, but replace this particular part, which is the data part, to your dynamic data, which come from the backend, from your database, or wherever else might be. But all your job is just to replace this part. That's why the excessive interactive demo page is here. Let's walk through what we can do here. Now, first of all, we have a design options. It's set to default. Now you can choose different designs, for example, a modern one, a minimalistic one, and as you can see, it changes also the fonts, etc. A cyberpunk style with a nice gradient background, a professional one, or a custom one. Now what custom is essentially allows you customly set any of the particular values, meaning that you can set your own background color, you can set, and it will be like this, you can, or I leave it out and it will be transparent, or you can leave your text color, now it's black, but I can change this one to be white, and now it's white. You can set the grid color. Well, this is the part where I have to mention that these custom design settings are same for every single chart, but not every single chart will interact, for example, with the grid color, because, for example, this chart does not have a grid. So even if you change the grid color to black, it will not affect your chart essentially. But the border color will be. Right now it's white, as you can see, around the pie and between the pie, those lines are white, right? Let's set this one to something like a red one, so it's visible like this, and now it's a red one. So some of the things, of course, going to affect the chart, some of those aren't. Shadow not going to affect the pie chart or the border radius itself, but the font size, for example, that will be. So if we increase the font size, now it's a larger font or a smaller font. Or you can even set your own font family or the font weight accordingly. So you want a bold text, as you can see now it's a bold text, or you want just a normal one. It's up to you how you do. Or you choose a predefined settings like these ones, minimalistic, cyberpunk, etc., which are going to define these values in a nice theme itself. Next values that you can set, let's start with the angle. Now the angle basically says that, well, what is the angle of the particular pie chart? or the innerRadius, which basically can create a donut effect. If you do this, you can create a nice donut chart. So instead of creating a separate donut chart, just to create a donut and a pie chart, what we do is we set the innerRadius here so we can create whatever we like here. We can enable animations, meaning that if it's a really fast animation, it will be like this, right away goes around. But if it's a really small one, then as you can see, it nice and slowly goes around. And you decide how you want your chart, how you want to initialize it. We support dark mode, so currently it's a white text, right? But if I switch to dark mode, the text automatically going to be black, and as you can see, the outline effect around the particular pie parts are going to be black, but if I switch to dark mode, going to be white, because it accommodates your theme. So let's say on your chart itself, when you switch your theme, it could be directly indicating that you switch your mode accordingly, right? Like I literally set up here that when you switch the theme, it directly controls this, but you can do it in your application accordingly. Next one, labels. If we set this one off, then the text, tablet, desktop, and mobile will not be visible. So just the values that are going to be visible in that case. If we do the show values, we can set so just the labels visible and the values are not. Or if you untick both of these, labels and values, then nothing is shown here basically. So values and labels, accordingly, they control the name and the value of the given data itself. Next, legend. Now what legend is, on the top right corner, you see this little cheat book which shows you the particular colors, the names, the values, and the percentage base. Now if you take this off, not gonna be visible. You take it on, it's gonna be visible. Next one, tooltips. If we enable the tooltip, then it's not gonna be any tooltip if I hover over. If you enable it, there's going to be a tooltip. Simple as that. Glow effect. You can add a very straightforward glow effect on top of your chart itself. Custom colors. You can freely set custom colors, meaning I can define this chart to be red or this pie part to be blue, and then this one, for example, to be green. You have total control over the colors, how you would like to initialize it. And once you change it, if we go to the show code, we can see that it added to each of these values a particular color object, which directly controls the particular name and value, the particular data set, data part, sorry, the data entry in that case, controls the color of the given data entry directly in the set data part, right? So whatever you do here, whenever you do something, it will be reflected in the show code. If I turn off the legend, the tooltips, the values, and perhaps the labels, and I go to the show code, now you see showLegend false, showTooltip false, showValues false. That's why it's an interactive demo, because you set here how you would like to see your charts essentially set up to your liking. Then you go here, copy the code, and it will be representing one-on-one, right? That's the nice part of it. So the next one, KMBT format. Now what does KMBT format means? We send our data with values such as 35,000, 45,000, and 20,000. But as you can see, it says 45K. Now what does this mean? If it's a minimum 1,000, it says K. If it's a minimum 1 million, it says M. If it's 1 billion, it's B. And if it's 1 trillion, it will say T, right? So that's why it's KMBT formatting. If I take it off, it's literally going to tell you that it's 45,000 or 35,000. But in large values like 1 million, 1 billion, 1 trillion, you don't want to add them into your pie chart because there's no space to it. So if you click this on, it will be a nicely formatted value. Custom labels. Now what these custom labels are, they allow you to prefix or suffix and afterfix particular values, not the names, because you obviously set the name to yourself. So name right here, desktop, you don't need to pre or afterfix, but for the values you can. So for example, I could put a $sign here, and then I could put a space bar and say USD right here. And I would mean $sign 45K spacebar USD. And this affects your tooltip, this affects your legend, and this also affects your chart values itself, because you added a $sign before the value and you added a USD after the value. Again, full customization to your liking. That's basically the pie chart. And if you scroll down, I'll tell you a few key features that need to be known, a couple recommendation where you should use this chart, and of course the configurable options, which is an excessive amount of customizations that you can do. Anything that you can do here in the pie chart, in the demo section, you're gonna find it here in the configurable options. Keep in mind that it's possible that you're gonna see some values in the configurable options which you will not see in the demo page. So it's always worth on each chart to go down and check the configurable options, because you might see something here that wasn't in the demo section if it's not that important. For example, in the light chart, I might include a separate pinch zoom sensitivity which just controls the sensitivity on touchscreen scrolling devices, which I set to a normal value, and you might not even need to change it, but I include it here so you can change it. In the configurable options, the first one is always going to be the design, which tells you what the particular default, modern, minimalistic, etc. And then from the background down until the separator line in the fontWeight down here, this is this part right here. Essentially, in the demo section, the custom, when you go there, it controls the background, textColor, grid, borderRadius, fontFamily, etc. As you can see, background, textColor, grid, borderRadius, it controls this. And then you have customColor, innerRadius, slicePadding, angle, etc. These are all the parts from the demo page. innerRadius was just right here, innerRadius. StartAngle right here is basically the startAngle right here. So this is a cheat book for you that if you do not want to set from the demo part, you can just come here and then check whatever you can do here and initialize to your own liking. So essentially you can go to your code and then you can just go here and you can start typing whatever you need, show angle, etc. And then you just type it out, whatever customization you need yourself, right? So, and there's some data format, basic formatting, essentially tells you how to initialize the particular chart, saying that you need a name, a value, and you can also set a color if you would like to. Or you can just do a name and a value without color. That would also work. In that case, we'll assign colors to our liking. Default colors, let's say. And how to add it? Either download the full library and add it to your project, or just download the core, which is going to be a small, very small one, and then add the pie chart itself separately. That can also work. You could specifically download the core library, add it to your each page, and then wherever you use a pie chart, you just add the pie. Wherever you use a bar chart, add the bar, but the whole library will be below 200 kilobytes, so there's no need to mess around. Just download the full library, add it, it will be fast and efficient. Okay, so that's it for the pie chart. And next we'll go over the column chart.